Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I cut my daughter's umbilical cord, so I know a thing or two about important cuts, Perna. Or was it my wife's umbilical cord? I don't know. But today is the worst day in many young athletes' professional lives. NFL Cut Day. Every team had to whittle their roster down to 53, which means many men who thought they might finally live out their lifelong dream of playing in the NFL had that dream crushed with Freddy Krueger-like swiftness. The good news is NFL teams have expanded the practice squads, numbering 16 players now, with the option of having up to 6 vested veterans on the practice squad for COVID reinforcements, so there will be more men who keep Krueger at bay than usual. Today, I want to talk about the cuts, the waves, the releases that were a bit of a surprise, a shocking surprise. I will have the Broncos cuts in another episode later tonight, or tomorrow morning, depending on how much of a father I have to be this evening. But today, here on this episode, we will focus on the releases of guys like Adrian Peterson, Josh Rosen, cut, Shaquem Griffin, cut, Lamar Jackson was cut. That's right, Lamar Jackson was cut. Also, Deshaun Watson agreed to stay in Houston for 4 more years. So, some contract news as well. Whew. It's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you would like near daily NFL news updates with a side of shitty humor. Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports, and it's all about sweaty balls, baby. Ball deodorant. Ball deodorant. Ball deodorant. Ball deodorant. Ball deodorant. Ball deodorant. No matter the weird shape or size of your testicle balls, I bet they sweat. Which is why you need the Crop Preserver Ball Anti-Chafing Deodorant from Manscaped. I recommend ball deodorizing as part of your post-shower routine. Squirt some of the Crop Preserver Aloe Vera Quick Absorbing Gel onto your palm, get enough, and then rub your balls until your hands start to cramp, or whatever you deem normal. It dries clear and it keeps your balls so fresh and so clean all day long. And it's made with only natural ingredients, so you know your balls are safe. Use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off, free shipping, and 2 free gifts when you buy the Perfect Package 3.0, which includes the Crop Preserver. Okay. Let's begin with the massive Watson news. Yes, football fans, the Broncos cut third-string linebacker Josh Watson today. But let's move on to the less relevant Watson news. And it's probably a tragedy, really, that Deshaun Watson will be connected to Bill O'Brien for possibly 4 more years with his new $160 million or $177.54 million contract, depending on who you trust. Per Ian Schefter and Adam Rappaport, Watson got $177.54 million on a 4-year extension and will commandeer the Texans' quarterback position through 2025, or by the time Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is president of the United States. Now, per this Schefter tweet, Watson has demanded to be paid in bags of cash instead of standard direct deposit. Baller move, if you ask me. Now, this gives Watson the 2nd largest contract in NFL history after Patrick Mahomes and leaves Dak Prescott as the only QB to still not be extended. Well, that's not quite true. Mitch Trubisky, while being named the official Week 1 starter for the Bears, has also not been extended. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it, Perna. Don't say it. Shit, because he was drafted ahead of Mahomes and Watson, in case nobody reminded Bears fans of that fact today. Now, Adrian Peterson was released by the Washington football team Potatoes. This is great news for my fantasy football team because I needed to grab a running back off of the waiver wire, and Antonio Gibson and Bryce Love are those guys. Peterson is going to land on an NFL roster soon for 2 reasons. Despite being 35 years old, he still averaged over 4 yards per carry the last 2 seasons. But more importantly, he's still broke as fuck and desperately needs money. The only active running back with more career rushing yards than Adrian Peterson's 14,216 is Frank Gore at 15,347. Frank Gore's son is now playing college football for Southern Miss, and unlike Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore can actually afford to pay his kids' tuition. Even if Frank Gore Jr. isn't an NFL caliber running back, I think it's Roger Goodell's duty, hell, responsibility to ensure he is drafted as soon as possible so we can get the first father-son combo to play in the NFL at the same time since Von Miller and Cam Newton. Now, the Patriots released wide receiver Mohamed Sanu and running back Lamar Miller as they try and rid themselves of all players who were great in 2016. Miller is a surprise cut as the Patriots signed him right before training camp with concerns about Sony Michel's injury. They traded with the Falcons for Sanu last season, but weren't pleased with his inability to get separation from corners during training camp. New England better pray that second-year receiver N'Keal Harry takes a step. Nay, I say a giant leap forward, because outside of Julian Edelman, they have an extremely unimpressive group of unproven receivers right now. But I'm okay with that, because if Cam Newton wins just one playoff game with this squad of ball catchers, we can officially say he's better than Tom Brady. New England also waived corner Michael Jackson. And yes, Belichick did it with a sparkly, bedazzled silver glove. And then they waived Bill Murray, officially making Tom Brady the third most popular Patriot in team history. Josh Rosen was waived by the Miami Dolphins, making him the NFL's greatest good luck charm. Sign Josh Rosen and get the QB you truly desire in next year's draft. If the Jags are really tanking, they should sign Rosen now to ensure they get Trevor Lawrence in 2021. Now, I don't remember a first-round QB getting a shittier deal than Josh Rosen. This guy has been passed around like a blunt, and now may be on a path to become the greatest quarterback the XFL has ever seen. I'd keep an eye on the Steelers and or Rams as possible Josh Rosen suitors, as both of those teams could use upgrades behind Roethlisberger and Goff. Randy Gregory has been conditionally reinstated by the NFL under the condition that he stop smoking so much goddamn weed. Now, this is good news for the Dallas Cowboys, who should have a really good defensive front seven. Josh Gordon also reinstated by the league, and he signed a one-year contract with the Seattle Seahawks, which is probably why they let receiver Paul Richardson go. If Gordon can just play through a full season, I think I might actually be excited about the Seahawks receiving core with DK Peck and Cavs, Tyler Pop Drop and Lockett, David Moore, and Greg Olsen. Also, if Will Dissly can stay healthy and just not get fucking hurt, Seattle could have a great tight end combo. Will Dissly in 10 games has 6 tutties. The Detroit Lions waived quarterback David Blau, which definitely blows considering he could play wide receiver as well. Never get rid of a guy that they call the Lamar Jackson of the NFC North. Now, the Eagles cut corner Sidney Jones, who the team took number 43 overall in the 2017 draft. Jones did not impress in this year's training camp, and honestly wasn't taking COVID protocol seriously, as this photo would suggest. Doug Peterson stated he might have made the team had he just stopped licking things. They also waived Rasul Douglas, who had 5 picks for the team. Right now, the Eagles have just 2 players left from that 2017 draft in Derek Barnett and Nathan Jerry. The Packers cut wide receiver Jake Kumaro? Come around here no more, because Aaron Rodgers really liked him. He also has one of the best nicknames in sports, Touchdown Jesus. I guess last night was his last supper in Green Bay. He, of course, earned the nickname Touchdown Jesus after convincing millions of Packers fans to believe in him only so they could watch him get betrayed by his own people. Maybe he will be resurrected on the practice squad in 3 days, or maybe he'll have to make extra money this offseason as an Easter bunny at the mall. Touchdown Jesus. And the Seattle Seahawks parted ways with edge defender / linebacker Shaquem Griffin. That's a fairly big surprise to me, mainly because I would not want to be the guy who separates twins. especially if you don't know which one is the evil fucking twin. Now, it's going to make for a really interesting Christmas for the Griffin family, but Griffin does have a decent chance to end up back on Seattle's practice squad if he goes unclaimed. And those are your surprisingly, mildly shocking cuts. The running back market. If you need an old veteran back, there are guys available. Peterson, Miller, Devontae Freeman. Subscribe here on YouTube. Got another video coming up shortly about them Broncos cuts.